Hey everybody, this is my 55-gallon gourami tank, and tonight we're going to try something new, cleaning the glass. I've got a few tanks that get the green spot algae that grows on them, and it's really tough to get off. I can usually get by with using the polyester batting that I use for my filter material to get the glass clean, and algae, even if it's that hair algae, will usually wipe off pretty easily with that stuff. But when you get to the green spot algae, that stuff can be really, really stubborn. So I've got two tanks I want to check out, and this is the first one. You can kind of see all of this green stuff we've got growing across the glass on the front of that. And what we are going to be checking out today is a product that is often referred to as a magic sponge. That is a brand name. What it really is a melamine sponge. And I looked them up to see how they work, and I immediately decided they are absolutely worth giving a try. I'm really excited about this. I haven't even opened the package yet, but I got these from Amazon. This is a 48 pack. You can see they are 1 by 2.5 by 3 or something like that. This is a 48 pack. I got that for $9.99. And that was from Prime, so I ordered this yesterday afternoon, and it's already here. If you're willing to wait and you want to order it from some no-name company, you can get like 100 packs for $5 if you want to, like I said, take the chance and waiting for them to show up. But you can get the 48 pack for $10 on Prime. And what the melamine sponge is a type of material that is an open cell foam. And apparently when the resin hardens, or resin cures, it hardens to almost as hard as glass. Not quite as hard as glass, but almost as hard as glass. But because it is an open cell foam, it stays soft and pliable, and you don't really feel the fact that it's actually almost as hard as glass. So when you start wiping something down with it, effectively what you're doing is wiping it with a really, really fine grit sandpaper. And on top of that, because of its open cell microporous construction, it's simultaneously a sponge that's on the sort of same kind of scale as like a carbon filter, kind of the way it's got just a huge amount of micropores in it. So it just grabs and hangs on to everything you wipe down with it. So you can't use them on acrylic. You can't use them on like polished stainless steel or polished aluminum. Painted surfaces is probably not a good idea unless it's a dull finish or a flat finish. I wouldn't use it on my car's paint job or anything like that. But because it is not as hard as glass, it can't scratch glass. So there's no chemicals in it. There's no soap or suds or anything. It's just this melamine foam, and it's supposed to work like a really, really fine grit sandpaper coupled with a really amazing sponge. So I'm going to get the tripod set up, and we're going to start wiping some of this down and see how that works. And when we're done with that, we can actually come over here and have a look at this tank, because this is the one that's actually got the green spot algae. You see all those little tiny dots of algae? They don't look like a big deal, but that's what's left after I gave up trying to wipe it down with my regular polyester batting material. It just did not come off of there at all. So let me get the tripod set up, and we will see how well this stuff works out. Alright, I'll start by cutting one in half. It's actually got an interesting feel to it. So this stuff hasn't been marketed as magic erasers for very long, but the product itself has been around for decades. It's been used for thermal insulation, and it also gets used for sound insulation. And I gotta say, it is just taking this stuff right off of the glass without any problem at all. But this isn't the really problematic tank. We will have to, like, I'm on a roll. I'm just going to keep on going. I don't even know if I'm in the camera frame anymore. but it just takes pretty much one pass. You wipe right over it, and when you wipe back across it, there's no more algae or anything on the glass. This stuff's pretty amazing. I've had several people recommend this to me over the years, and I originally thought that they came with some kind of chemical in them or something, like a cleaning detergent, and I was assured that they don't. And of course, I'm reassuring you that of course they don't. But I will say that two things. One is, just as we noticed, really, really easy to get off the glass. And secondly, when I use my batting material, when I pull it out of the glass or out of the tank after I'm done wiping the glass down, all that algae just runs into the tank. I saw almost no algae spread away from this once I got done wiping. It is all just sort of trapped right in this sponge. So I'm not going to use this same one in my other tank, but we're going to go have a whack at that green spot algae and see how well that works. So hang on, and I'll see you at the other tank. Alright, now let's see how well it cuts through this green spot algae, because this stuff is tough. When I use the other stuff, I've got to put my finger right on it and really just push and wipe back and forth over it. This is a fairly spongy material. Oh wow, I'm barely even pushing on that. And it's taken more than one swipe, but not much. Just a couple little passes, and it's just clearing that stuff right off of there. Yeah, this is amazing. I will not be using my batting material anymore at all. I will be using this magic sponge material. It's cheap, and it is super effective. I really just cannot get over how easy this green spot algae is coming off the glass. That really is like magic. Now this will be interesting. Let's see if I can move the camera around. The right hand side of this tank is covered in green algae. That's not cyanobacteria or anything. That's just thick algae. And let's see what it does wiping with this. My batting material just sort of slides back and forth over it, and it takes some of it off, but it leaves an awful lot of it behind. And this is just incredible how much this is taken off and how easily it is. And watch when I pull the sponge away from the glass. You get the tiniest little bit of algae that gets released into the water, and the rest of it, look at that, it's underwater and you barely see algae. I have to like squeeze it and move it around even to see the algae coming off of it. So let's see how well I can do it without really pushing. I don't want to squeeze loose any of the algae that's already in there. Let's see how effective this is. That is amazing. Alright, there you go, everybody. I have a new way to clean the glass in my aquariums. And as I said, I will put a link down below. It is melamine foam. You do not have to go out and spend all the money on the Magic Eraser brand or the other. There's 2 or 3 other brands out there, but they're all the same thing. They're this melamine sponge. And again, I will put a link down below. I am really, really impressed. I'm sure I will be talking about it in videos in the very near future, so make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss that or anything else I've got coming up. So thanks for watching this one. I hope that was helpful to somebody. I know it was for me. And I will see you real soon in the next one.